Alright everyone, it's time for Vermont Issues episode 43. Pressure is being put on Bernie Sanders to either form a new party, the Progressive Party, and run in 2020 as a presidential candidate again outside of the Democratic Party, or to mount an independent campaign. I actually like the idea, and I'm sure some people will be like, oh, why would you like that? Bernie Sanders, we hate him. You got to listen to the reasons why. It helps everybody in the country if Bernie Sanders does this. The first thing that it helps is that it gives Trump 2020. He would win. He'd probably win anyway because the DNC still doesn't have a platform. It doesn't have a viable candidate. It doesn't have a message. Its sloganeering is so jumbled and messed up. It's like, what are they thinking, basically? So they're already a weak party. Here's the thing, though. The Democratic Party, wouldn't it be better if the Democrats actually stood for something and weren't just, total sellouts that wanted more wars and more taxes, and our answer to everything is shut the fuck up, basically, and, people are not to be trusted with their own lives. Wouldn't it be great if the Democratic Party would stop being like that and go back to being what it was maybe in the JFK era, or maybe before that? I think it would. It would mean we'd have two parties that were actually kind of worth voting for in the country and weren't, total scumbags, essentially. We see that the never-Trump neocon forces are slowly being weakened within the Republican movement. The Rands and Amashes and the Trump populists are the ones on the ascendancy right now. Their party's already reforming itself. It's not perfect. It's mild reform. It's still not great, but it's better than what we had before in the Republican Party. The Democratic Party planted its feet, resisted change, shafted Bernie Sanders. The DNC fraud lawsuit admits to this. They're like, yeah, we shafted Sanders, we meddled with the election system, we basically defrauded millions of people, but we're a private corporate entity, there's nothing special about a political party, so we can do that legally, and that argument stood, which is what I said would happen. The DNC is a corporation, just like the RNC is a corporation. The Libertarian Party essentially is a corporate movement. These are corporations. There's nothing unique about a political party. The fact that we even have political parties in the United States is upsetting enough. We shouldn't even have them. But if we're going to have them, there should be actual choice involved. Not Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama. Ooh, what a wonderful choice that is. Two inept warmongers, two boring people that don't stand for anything. What a wonderful time that was in the election then. John McCain versus Barack Obama. Ooh, yeah, a dude who's basically Bush versus a dude who's basically Bush, but with a D after his name. Wow, hope and change. See, that's the problem. Neoliberalism and neoconservatism are basically the same thing. They want more wars, censorship, surveillance. They want to sell our country out. They don't care about you. They only care about rich donors. The Republican Party is shifting away from that model. When people consider Trumpism to be fanatic, they don't know what they're talking about. What it is an anti-establishment movement. It's a reform from within a party. Not as draconian as reform from outside of a party, which, could be better in the long term, but it's a start. It's something. At least there's some change going on, something measurable. If Bernie Sanders jumps in, the Democrats lose, and if you're on the left, you should vote for him. Don't even worry about Trump winning re-election, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if you're convinced that Trump will fail, it shouldn't matter because he crushes the Republican Party, right? Well, you got to think long-term, not short-term. So that's a positive by your standards. If you actually think that he's Dorito Hitler or something. I don't, but you do. Number two, the Democratic Party will have to do something to reabsorb those schismatic individuals. It's not just, by the way, progressives, the younger, more actual left voters. It's not just about that. One of the big things that lost Hillary Clinton the election, Rust Belt business Democrats, people who had been Democrats, partisan Democrats. No, I would never vote for those Republicans, flocking over to Trump for being a money candidate. You need to reabsorb that back within your party, but you can't do that under neoliberalism. If the big line of the day for the Democratic Party is we want to throw open the borders, sell out American workers, and tax the middle class to death, they will never win another election. They won't. It won't matter how unpopular Trump is. They'll be comparing him. Right now, they're comparing Trump to the glowing statements of the Democratic Party. Once you actually have a candidate up against him, it's more even Stevens. People will be comparing him to some neoliberal who will be boring, who will say stupid shit that doesn't coincide with the wishes of the average voter in the country. This is what happened to Hillary Clinton. When people said, well, Trump's statements are off the wall, they're unacceptable and unpresidential, it didn't matter. Look at who he was running against. The DNC should have known better than to allow Hillary Clinton at this stage in her life to run a campaign. They should have been shafting her. They should have gone full Jim Webb mode. They should have put their force behind a business Democrat. The Rust Belt would not have gone red. They would have done fine, probably eked out a win in the election. But it was impossible that Hillary Clinton was ever going to be able to accomplish that. She blames everybody under the sun other than herself. Oh, the DNC didn't give me enough support. Oh, how difficult it is to fundraise while also campaigning. Well, yeah, sorry that you couldn't fund your own campaign and that you had to go and get your $250,000 a plate from Goldman Sachs. Yeah, that's the old style of campaigning. Trump showed you don't even need to use that kind of campaign. Libertarian Party managed to crack double digits in a bunch of states. You realize how little of a fundraising apparatus they have? And they're going to do it again. Now, that's a drain on the Democrats and the Republicans. The Green Party is the same thing. I expect the Libertarian Party might do just as well this next time around. Simply because Trump, yeah, he has lost the support of a lot of Republicans. They're trying to flock into the Libertarian movement. Some of the Sanders voters did the same, which is why the Libertarian Party sort of tried to throw a few bones to the far leftists. Having a Bernie Sanders party, a progressive movement, would be fine. It would help the left to reform itself, because it would put enough pressure on the Democratic Party. When they inevitably lose in 2020, if he does that, when they lose, they'll be under too much stress to continue ignoring the fact that people's perception has changed. The average self-proclaimed liberal no longer wants neoliberal policies. They're tired of the proxy war bullshit that Obama continued. They're tired of the surveillance, tired of, hey, raising taxes is a magic bullet for all of your problems. Give them an actual far leftist and at least be honest with people that you want to be censorious, or go back to the business Democrat model that doesn't piss anybody off. It's just an alternative pro-worker movement. Give them that alternative. That's the way to compete with the Trump populism. And you're never going to do that with a candidate like Hillary Clinton. It'd be funny if she ran again. I hope she does. It'd be hilarious. I think it would be funny if the never-Trumpers in the Republican Party primary Trump, and he wins anyway, which he would. So they primary him, and he gets to beat up on a whole new crop of people. It'll be a funny election because of that funny primary process. Meanwhile, the Democrats should let Hillary Clinton run roughshod over things again. Oh, it's her turn again this time, now that she's even more demented, or something like that. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a hilarious election. Because everyone would be calling the other person's candidate totally fucking crazy and demented and so old that they don't even know how to shit on their own, basically. Bernie Sanders should run. I say I wouldn't vote for him, but he should run. He should give people... Look, what the left-wing youth of the country, who were they supposed to vote for in the last election? They can't vote for Trump because the media convinced them he's Hitler, so that's out of the door. They can't really vote for the Libertarian Party generally because it stands for a freer market, you know, as in less socialism than we have now. So they didn't like that. How are they going to vote for Hillary Clinton? A lot of them voted for Jill Stein. They'll flock to the Green Party. Even if Bernie Sanders doesn't, if he says, well, we need to get behind the Democratic candidate, you know, just ignore the DNC fraud lawsuit sort of stuff. Even if he says that, a lot of these people vote Green Party or Libertarian. Or some of them will vote for Trump out of spite. Just, again, if there are any shenanigans within the DNC, they'll do that. So Trump wins. He probably wins anyway, though. You should be thinking long-term in overhauling the whole party so that people think it's worth voting for. You can't do that with short-term politicking, just saying, oh, we must support. Whoever the Democratic corporation decides is going to be the candidate, we'll automatically vote for regardless of what they say or do or what they've said or done in the past. Some people are saying, oh, Bloomberg should run. Yeah, that'd be wonderful, considering his comments on tough-on-crime legislation. You know, oh, those unfortunate comments that he made about differential racial policing 10 years ago, you think those will come back to haunt him? I think they would. I think the Green Party would be loving it. Hippie grandma Jill Stein would run again, and she'll chuckle, and she'll do what the Libertarian Party did last time around, crack double digits too. So then you have two. You don't have one third party, you have a fourth party too. That'd be funny. Yeah, I think Bernie Sanders should run. Yeah, other Vermonters should definitely try to get him to. Because it would show their disdain for what the Democratic Party has become. By the way, if you're nonpartisan, you probably have some level of disdain for all political parties. Partisan loyalty is dumb. It's like I'm a monarchist, I'm on the libertarian side, but I don't have any loyalty to the Libertarian Party. Their candidates sucked, so I didn't vote for them. There's the answer. It wasn't like I'm going to stand on principle, oh, well, this is the Libertarian candidate. I trust this corporation to tell me who's the best candidate, so let me just vote straight Libertarian. That's so dumb. You shouldn't do that for anybody. It's like people who are partisan Republicans. You don't need to vote for Trump just because you're a Republican. You should listen to what he says. What are his ideas? What does he stand for? What's he done? What's he accomplished? The Democratic Party, same thing. Whatever their candidate will be, what do they stand for? What have they said? How did they do in the debates? Do they seem like they're capable of leadership? Do they seem like they give a damn? That's what to ask yourself. Don't just say, oh, well, they're the Democrat. I have to vote for them for some reason because Democrats good, Republicans evil. There are other parties anyway. Vote for the Communist Party if you want to. Check out their platform. The Constitutionalists, they exist. They're more libertarian than the Libertarian Party appears to have become. Thinking about switching over, reading more about their platform, even though they're definitely an afterthought. That's the way things should work. Political parties be damned. They're just corporations. It's a letter after somebody's name. It doesn't mean that they stand for anything in particular. Party affiliation shifts over time. What parties stand for shifts over time. I'll probably end up voting for Trump again the next time around unless the Libertarian Party offers me someone who's sane. Get Austin Peterson to run. Even McAfee there. Now, McAfee says off-the-wall shit. Like, so, crypto coins... a Bitcoin, it'll hit $1 million a Bitcoin, within a few... No, I don't think so. But he's smart, he is sane. He's out there, but he's sane. Austin Peterson, I think, is good. I didn't mind, I liked Gary Johnson until he decided, hey, I think I'm going to pander, number one, to, like, exiled Bernie voters, which was a weird idea. I guess it did increase his vote share, but it's just a weird idea overall. And I'm going to do a report, I'm going to talk to this reporter, and I'm going to stick my tongue out and make weird noises. And then, by the way, I don't even know where Aleppo is. I had jumped off the Gary Johnson train before the Aleppo comments. I'm very happy about that. It just didn't look good. It wasn't a great view of what the party should be about. Libertarian Party would be my natural home if they have sane candidates. People who aren't nuts. Why was Weld even the running mate? He was a Republican. He's like what the fuck's his name? The boring one with the sad sack eyes there, Paul Ryan. He was like a Paul Ryan Republican. Or something like that. And he was a pro-gun control Republican too, which was even funnier. And then he comes and says, oh yeah, I thought better of it. Now that I'm in the Libertarian Party and I'm getting lots of money and I'm fundraising, now all of a sudden I stand against it. Oh, what principles you have. Real deep constitutional understanding. It's so wonderful for everybody. Bernie Sanders should definitely run. It would be funny. At the very least, it would be amusing to have more. We need a freak show election. People think, oh, chaos, no, that's scary. No. You need chaos. You need chaos to overthrow the current paradigm and change things. Everyone keeps rambling. The Democrats rambled about hope and change, and they got neither. Don't you actually want that? Don't you want to kick the ass of the people running the DNC for screwing you over? Don't you want to kick out the neoliberals? Get someone in there who's either an actual leftist or cares about workers, is a business Democrat, or something sane, something the average American could tolerate, something that's not a walking wedge issue like Hillary break the glass ceiling Clinton and her cohorts, Al Race Bader Sharpton, people like that. That's her kind of crowd. People who pretend to care and ultimately at the end of the day they want money. It's all they stand for. It's all she's ever stood for and it's all she ever will. I'm glad she lost. I'm glad she will never become the U.S. president. It's wonderful to live in this timeline where Hillary Clinton never has a shot at sitting in the White House again. Except if Trump says, oh, she's getting geriatric, we're going to put under hospice care in the West Wing. It'll be funny to have her around rambling incoherently. Maybe occasionally she says something you can understand. That's about all. Peace out.